Hello everyone, welcome back to the Trumpet Daily. Today let's look at a major story that's unfolding right now. It's a story you may not have even heard of. Or even if you have, it's probably been drowned out by more sensational news about missiles from Russia or immigrants from Central America or firefights in Gaza. That ongoing major development that we need to look at is this. All around the world, hatred for Jews is surging.
Racist Zionist pig! Racist Zionist pig!
Recently, we've seen pro-Russian militants shoot down an airliner full of people. We've seen Islamist radicals conquer huge pieces of Iraq and Syria. We've seen America's illegal immigration crisis explode. We've seen the new Libya unravel into bloody chaos. But even with all this mayhem going on, this surge in anti-Semitism is still alarming people and making headlines around the world. On Monday, there was an emergency meeting in the Israeli Knesset. It wasn't about Israel's military operation in Gaza or about a political crisis in the Israeli government. It was about the rising wave of violent, anti-Semitic and anti-Israel demonstrations sweeping Europe. As the Times of Israel reported, that meeting room was packed to capacity with people concerned about what's happening in Europe. One member of the Knesset said that some Jews in Europe are now so fearful that they feel they have to change their appearance when they leave the house. A Hebrew University professor said, "We have entered a new, very difficult era in all of Europe. You just need to hear the rhetoric to believe." We need a much deeper discussion, he said. We're just at the outer layer of the problem. You just need to hear it to believe it, he says. Like the violent crowds in Paris earlier this month that ransacked shops and attacked police and burned things because they were angry at Jews. Like the Prime Minister of Turkey saying that Israel surpassed Hitler in barbarism because of its operation against Hamas in Gaza. Like the crowd shouting, "Jews are pigs," and "Death to the Jews" in the streets of Berlin. More and more people are hearing it, and more people are believing it. Jews in France and Germany, across Europe, are scared. Wouldn't you be? If vandals trashed your place of worship and the home of your minister, if throngs of people rallied in public yelling that you are a pig, if people spat at you and chanted that you should be gassed, if people scream for genocide against you and your people. That's exactly what's happening to you if you're a Jew in Europe right now, or to many Jews at least. In Berlin recently, an imam was filmed saying this.
زلزل الأرض من تحت أقدامهم اجعل بأسهم بينهم شديد شتت رميهم فرق جمعهم اللهم إنهم طغوا وبغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم يا ربنا صوت عذاب.
In the Netherlands, protesters at The Hague were waving black flags of the so-called caliphate of ISIS and chanting "Death to the Jews." In Belgium, one Turkish shop put a sign up for everyone to see that said dogs are allowed in this establishment, but Jews are not under any circumstances. In Brussels, in May, a French Muslim who allegedly had just returned from fighting for ISIS walked into a Jewish museum and machine-gunned 4 people to death. Most of these examples are from Andrew Bolt's column at the Herald Sun in Melbourne. And a lot of these do come from people with Arabic backgrounds. He pointed that out in his article. But is this just a matter of Arabs and Muslims who happen to live in Europe? Could it be just a matter of people who are riled up against the recent bloodshed in Gaza? Could it be just a matter of people who hate the state of Israel, but who love non-Israeli Jews? No. The Anti-Defamation League conducted a global study and released their findings back in May, a few months ago, and that study found out that 1 out of every 4 people in the world has anti-Semitic views. In the United States and Britain, that figure is less than 1 in 10, but across Europe, it's 1 in 4, 27% in Belgium, for example, 27% in Germany. In France, it's 37%. 1 in 3 French have a bias against Jews. These opinions were building up long before Operation Protective Edge. They have nothing to do with the current or recent policies of the Israeli administration, and they absolutely are not confined to Muslims. In fact, Muslims rated about average on that poll of attitudes toward Jews. What are the effects of these opinions? Well, we're seeing those effects in protests, in hateful demonstrations, in violence against synagogues and homes, and in murders. And frankly, we're seeing those effects in the left-wing media establishment, which is treating Hamas propaganda as fact. At that Knesset meeting, one Jewish leader said, "Never before since the Holocaust have we seen such a situation as today. We are potentially looking at the beginning of another Holocaust now." This isn't just rhetoric. This isn't just one ethnic group complaining, trying to get attention. This is a situation that has gotten so bad that thousands of Jews are actually leaving Europe. Now, doesn't that ring an alarm bell in your mind? What happened right before World War II? What happened right before the Holocaust? That exact same thing. The trend is becoming so noticeable that it actually made the recent cover of Newsweek. They're calling it an exodus, but it's not a jubilant exodus from slavery like in the Bible. It's a fearful flight from your homeland, which has become a place so hateful toward you and your family that you will uproot your entire life to get away from it. And there's no guarantee that life is going to get better for you. These societies are allowing this. Europeans in general may not all refuse to serve Jews at their establishments, but they tolerate those who do. Europeans in general may not burn cars and throw bricks through windows and intimidate Jews, but they tolerate those who do. It's just an undeniable fact that the same thing happened before World War II, before the Holocaust. Hitler didn't just single-handedly spring the Holocaust on the Jews. He didn't run it all by himself. Anti-Jewish feelings had grown and grown across Germany and across Europe. Some people raised concerns, but most just shrugged and said, well, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. And then the Holocaust came. Now it's becoming commonplace today, even politically helpful, to express disgust toward the Jews. But another Holocaust can't happen, right? People hating Jews isn't that big of a deal, right? It's just random events here and there that ebb and flow every now and then, right? But what if there's something behind it, like there was in 1933, before the Holocaust? What if there's something to this trend in immigrant populations, native populations, in politicians, in the major media, to disparage the Jews? If you haven't seen it already, make sure that you go back and view the program that we posted last week titled, "Why So Much Hatred for Jews?" You can watch the program right now online at thetrumpet.com.